Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we are back on the Drone Age dev server and it's time to have a look at a new banger vehicle for the Soviets when it comes to their blue water fleet. This is the Mikhail Kutuzov. There was a dev blog about this one and it seemed kind of interesting, so I thought I would cover it. The machine itself is a light cruiser and the place where you'll find it in the tech tree is just before the Imperatrice Maria. And it's just after the Chapayev. The thing is, this thing's at rank 5, so it will be good for researching rank 4s and rank 5s. I'm kind of wondering why they didn't put it at rank 4, because there's only 2 rank 4s for the Soviets. I feel like it would be better if there was a third one here, just to kind of balance it out, instead of having 6 at rank 5, and then, you know, only 2 here. Just seems a bit weird to me. But the Kutuzov has some pretty nice factors to it. It's a very modern cruiser, so the ways that it was modernized was mainly as secondary armaments, but also some other improvements as well. It's kind of funny because they modernized it and then they basically decommissioned it, which is you know, a tale as old as time when it seems to come to certain naval machines. It has 4 triple-mounted 152mm, 2 sets on the front, and then 2 sets on the back of it. It has 6 100mm dual guns, the dual-purpose ones, 3 on each side in the center of the machine, so very similar to a lot of others we have. And then it kind of gets interesting. So it has 16 37mm dual setups. Some of them are in these mounts around here. You have a few which are over here and a few which are more near the back over here. You can see all of them in this area. And then it has 8 twin AK-230 automatic twin guns. Now these things are crazy. They have 500 rounds each and they have a really long reloading rate, but they have a ton of ammunition in them if you just kind of look at them collectively, and also the rate of fire they have is just astronomical, which is really cool. Just to kind of give you an idea, I'll just use them here for you. So if we get them all pointing up at the sky, you can see that with the 37s in tow as well, you have just an absolute mass of firepower that you can fire at things. So just to give you an idea, if we just light up this plane which is above us, you can see the 30s firing and then the 37s, and they all just miss. So never mind. Hey guys, could you maybe shoot this thing? You know, give it a go. Oh, now you've turned up. I see how it is. You know, it has to turn up on the radar. But you can see the fire rate on these 30s and also the 37s when they decide to actually, you know, work. You can see that they have the ability to just throw lead into the air. Very similar to the Alaska, which has just been added. But when it comes to other armaments, it doesn't really have any. This is very much a gun-focused machine. There's no torpedoes, there's no rockets, there's no anything like that, even though a lot of the Soviet machines have some kind of bonuses. This one doesn't. But it does have a massive amount of fire directors. So it has, first of all, the one for the hundreds. This is really good. Fire solution 6 seconds, update time 3 seconds. That's the best you're going to get. Then also for the main guns, the 152s, you have the same. So this thing can lock onto a target and get the fire direction or the fire solution for it incredibly quickly, which is really useful, especially as you go up the ranks, because the first shots can really change how a battle goes, because you can knock out guns and then you can have the follow-up shots and so on and so forth. When it comes to battles in pretty much anything, it's always the best to get the first shot off. It's never good to be the one on the receiving end of these things. If you have a look at the guns, one of the things that is an issue with the 152s, they have massive ammo racks. So these things carry a ton of rounds, and you can see the ammo elevator for them. Their reload is 7.5 rounds per minute. Not terrible, not great though. They don't have a first stage, so everything is just from that standard stage that you see down here. So if this gets hit, then the whole thing just rockets up, unfortunately, which is a problem with these large Soviet machines. The armor-wise, it has some good Citadel armor, 100mm. You can see the belt here, 100, 20 at the front. The elevators have 130 on them, and then the front of the guns have 175, which is quite nice. And then all of the individual turrets have a little bit of armor here and there, but nothing to really write home about, nothing that's really going to stop anything. It's just going to stop fragments from kind of moving around the place. Then it has 100 over here. That's actually protecting the steering gear and also the transmissions, which are around. The engines in the center have quite a lot of space to them and a lot of really dodgy funnels. Like you've got this like tiny engine here when you've got all the big bungers, and then you've just got this midget one, which I'm wondering why that's set up like that, connected to this big old transmission. But the other thing is displaced or dispersed around the engine is just a ton of ammo, like from the AA guns and everything. So I definitely feel like it is worth reducing the amount of ammo that you have on board for this thing, because otherwise, no matter where the enemy's going to hit you, you're going to pop somewhere. Like, this thing carries 64,000 rounds of 37 ammo. You're not getting through that, are you? When it comes to the 30mm, you have 8,000 rounds of it. So maybe cut that in half, and then you won't just be a piece of kindling, especially with the new way that the stuff is set up. Like the ammo racks and the RNG-ness of it, unfortunately. The bridge has a little bit of armor on it, 130 once again. But against stuff like battleships and battle cruisers, that's not really going to be that useful. Against other cruisers, though, might be pretty useful overall. The other parts of it, so the 152s, which are the main guns on this thing, it has HE shell stock, so standard stuff. Unfortunately, you won't be able to penetrate anything until you get a better round. It does have 6 kilos of TNT, which isn't too bad. APC-BC, 1.69 kilos, not the best, but good pen, 333, 254, 116. And then you have a middling round, which has 6 kilos of TNT, so basically the same as the HE, and then also pens 172, 150, 88. So this is probably going to be the round that I'll use, even though you probably need the extra pen from the APC-BC. Also gets a HETF if you want to try your luck at shooting down planes and stuff. With the fire calculator, it might actually be easy to do, since it's only 6 seconds to be able to set the time fuse. Then the 100mm, they have HE, HETF, HE with a base fuse, so a bit more penetration on it, and also basically the same amount of kg, just slightly less, and then HEVT, which will be the one that I personally go for, just to use it in that multi-purpose role. Apart from that, there isn't too much else for it, so it's basically very gun focused. It's not very fast, 60 kilometers an hour is pretty standard. 1,000 crew, so not too bad on survivability, but definitely not the best. And overall not that heavy compared to some of the machines, since of course it is still a cruiser. So the Kutuzov is looking nice, and it's one of the more modern machines we have. Even though it's an older machine, it was actually it was, you know, modernized, it was refurbished. And you can see all of the guns there, just going ham straight away, trying to take out these guys. No mercy when it comes to this stuff, so just absolute annihilation for that unfortunate little thing. And I thought when it came to these guns, or when it came to these machines, once they started adding them, that stuff like this was going to happen. But it is kind of crazy to actually see it happen in real time, just seeing all of the explosions and everything. But the fire, the ranging director doesn't take very long. It is quite a short time before you can be ready to fire. And the 152s against anything smaller than it will annihilate them. Anything bigger than it, it'll probably have a few issues with. But you can see there, they're just beautiful explosions that are on. And the fire rate is really nice on these. You know, sometimes it's nice having the big guns if you're accurate with them, because you can do a ton of damage. But I kind of like the middling guns, because I can just keep firing out damage after over and over and over again with the guns. So for me, I prefer a machine like this instead of a big boomer, because I'm not very accurate when I shoot. So being able to fire multiple rounds at, you know, over a short period of time is going to benefit me compared to other people, where maybe they're way more accurate or they know how to aim better, and therefore it's, you know, slightly better to use the larger ones so they can pierce and just blow stuff up. But this is just looking like a really nice vehicle. There's no other way of putting it. These types of light cruisers are pretty decent for the Soviets. The Chapayev back in the day was a very positive one, and with the battleships, or at least a lot of them, going up 7.0 and 6.7, it may mean that machines like this really do well in their own little area. So definitely look forward to this one. There's a lot of naval machines that they're adding this update, which is super cool, and I hope they keep doing it until we get the massive machines from World War II. The Bismarck cometh. As always, I hope you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Nicholas Richardson, Elove Goat, Pyman675, Winter Scientist, Merciless Reaper, Jerry Prevolt, Megadino King, Orange Tail, Teddy, John Ryman, Universe, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Moxie, B. Young, Uncle Bean, Sem Arslan, Derek R., Bareen, Lafouche, and Samuel Slick for supporting the channel.